it's Shannon Liara and welcome to another Geekly review. In case you couldn't tell, this week's Geekly review is going to be about dun dun dun, The Last of Us Left Behind. It's the only piece of story DLC to release for my favorite game of 2013, The Last of Us, created by those wonderful yet heart-torturing people at Naughty Dog. Thanks. Me being the person that I am, I grabbed a pint of Ben & Jerry's, I sat down on my fat butt and played through this wonderful DLC, and wow, was it wonderful. The gameplay basically reiterates what we already know from The Last of Us, in which you have some survival mechanics in which you have to manage your inventory and craft items, and then you also have the gunplay, I guess you could say, and the meleeing of the infected and the hunters. Now, without spoiling anything, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it right here. I'm gonna be spoiling The Last of Us because you should have played that game by now. And I'm just gonna spoil it, but I won't spoil the actual Left Behind DLC. So during The Last of Us, we have a period in which Joel has a pole sticking out of his stomach and Ellie has to take care of him throughout the rough trials of winter. You have a moment in the actual game in which you are able to play as Ellie, and one of the biggest perks of playing as Ellie, aside from losing all of the power-ups that you gained through taking a lot of pills, one of the biggest pluses is that she has a shiv that will not break or die or anything. She has her own knife and you can keep that for as long as you want. So that definitely comes in handy, especially in Left Behind. They do add this interesting mechanic that wasn't present before, in which you have encounters with both the hunters and the clickers. And the coolest part is that you could take a brick or a bottle and you can throw it in the middle of the room and see the two factions go at each other, while you kind of sneak around and go through your objective and eventually slowly pick them up if you want to. The best part about The Last of Us gameplay is that you can basically play in any way you want to. Guns a-blazing if you find enough ammo, bless your soul. Stealthy with the bow, your shiv. So there's a lot of different ways you can approach scenarios, and that's a big plus for me. It's still The Last of Us. I think the gameplay was well done because it was already a system that I thoroughly enjoyed. And I will say this, playing on hard, and God bless the souls of people who have tried Survivor, but hard is hard. The final fight sequence. And once you get there, you'll definitely know what I'm talking about. And if you do know what I'm talking about now, leave the comments down below because I'd love to talk with people about it. It was a crazy moment. Naughty Dog has done a great job introducing characters as seen through the Uncharted series, and let's face it, Crash Bandicoot will always have a place in my heart. So it only makes sense to have Joel and Ellie tightly knit, like tightly secured in my heart. No joke. We kind of get a better insight into the character that Ellie was before she went on this crazy adventure with Joel. Now, speaking of Riley, Riley is a vivacious, independent teenager that we are introduced to in the Left Behind DLC. She was previously mentioned by Ellie in the story, in the actual main campaign, in passing a couple times, and you can see some souvenirs that mention Riley. And the most unique part about Ellie and Riley is because they were born after the infection had started. Riley is about 15, 16, I'm assuming, and Ellie is 13, on the verge of 14. And it's quite interesting to get the perspective of a teenager or a child, essentially, who is living through a post-apocalyptic world. How do they perceive things in the social norm, in their culture, when basically all they're supposed to do is survive day to day and not get infected? I think it's a totally interesting concept, and there's some really lovely moments between Ellie and Riley in the setting that really make it a great character piece. And although the game was 2 hours or so, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less depending on how you play, it felt like a nice long movie. I would rather play through this than watch another Pirates of the Caribbean movie. And they're about the same length, and you get a little bit more out of this DLC than you would. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here and let you know what the final score is. Gameplay, perfect, like I always thought it would be. Hard gets really hard sometimes, but it's really satisfying when you get through it. The time, it was 2 hours, but it was a 2 hours filled with so much content that I thought was worth it, so that was great. The characters are flawless, the new ones are flawless, the music is flawless. This is the way that story DLC should be, and I'm looking at you, episode 2 of BioShock Infinite's DLC Burial at Sea. This is the kind of story DLC that I'm looking for, just so complete. I don't know. It's getting a 10 out of 10 for me, and thanks for watching this Geekly review. I hope to see you guys next week for the next Geekly review. Let me know what you want to see me review for next week. It could be a comic, a TV show, a movie, a game, anything. Go ahead and let me know in the comments below. That rhymed, or you can tweet at me at Shannon Liara. Yeah, 10 out of 10. I hate you, Naughty Dog, for breaking my heart. Hey everyone, so you know the deal with the buttons over here. If you want to see my previous Geekly review, go ahead and click there. And if you're really excited and you want to see my new video coming up soon, I'll have the link up here eventually, but it is a Disney review. It's not a Disney review. It is a Disney trivia! And I guessed Rafiki a lot. I guess I really like Rafiki. But go ahead and check those videos out, and I hope to see you guys next time. Peace out, Sailor Scouts.